Let's see if this works. Something on my phone here. Anyway, listen, folks. This is a live stream, and I don't know how long I'm going to keep this video up, maybe a day at the most. I've already shown this information before, years ago, and I've shown it a few times since then, okay? So you'll see it somewhere in through my live streams, you'll see it. The reason why today's date is important, as far as, you know, uh, with this Elvis Trump puzzle that I'm, revealing on this channel. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, you watch all my live streams, and if you be patient and watch all the live streams, you'll begin to understand how this is Holy Spirit led information. But you need to watch more than a few videos, okay, to grasp it all. Anyway, so today Trump went to the Notre Dame uh, cathedral, or whatever, that church cathedral, whatever it is, where it burned. Right, it's the reopening date, and because the that spire had fell over, right, and everyone, in the truth community connected it with that iPet goat video, which I'm not going to get into, which I've already talked about many times for the people who know what I'm talking about. But so why was Trump there today? Okay, you'll see in a moment the connections with today's date. But just real quick, it's interesting that from the date the fire happened. First of all, the fire happened on 4/15, which is April 15th, 2019. And 4 plus 15 equals 19. So if you do it 4, 15, 19, 4 plus 15 is 19. And also, uh, if you say the date backwards, 15/4, it would be like the number 154, and that's the Antichrist number, 154. Okay? So there's many connections to that, right? And uh, so, so that's connected to the day that actually happened, the fire, where it burned that church, whatever, whatever it is, that Notre Dame thing. But you know what they did in that Notre Dame fire? They uh, they saved the crown of thorns. That's supposedly the crown of thorns that Jesus wore. Is that what they're saying? You know, I mean, first of all, there's no way to prove that. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't. Listen. Could it be possible? Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. If that's possible. But uh, let me just show you. Because you know who created Elvis? Who is the person whose seed created Elvis? It was Vernon Presley, Elvis's dad, and Elvis's dad's middle name supposedly is Elvis, which who knows if that's even true. But um, so if you typed in Vernon Presley, first of all, um, the word Vernon equals the exact same as the word poison, and it's the exact opposite. Vernon uh, equals the word Jewish, but backwards. Same numbers, but in the opposite rows. Okay, if you've seen my videos, you know what I'm talking about. But so Vernon equals poison, all right? And he's the one who created Elvis, right? So look at what Vernon Presley equals, and then I'm going to show you um, what uh, what also equals the exact same. Give me a second here. Yeah, all right. So remember, we're talking about crown of thorns, right? So check this out. So this is the monster who created Elvis. So here's the monster, Vernon Presley, and look what it equals real quick. 188. Look at the numbers. 188, 71, and then backwards is 163.64. 188, 71, 163.64. It equals the exact same as, watch this. So those are the same numbers, but this time, look at the name of what you see up there. See, Crown of Thorns. See, Vernon Presley, Elvis's dad. Vernon Presley equals exactly the same as Crown of Thorns. You see that? Crown of Thorns up there. You know. I'm just saying, what is the chance of that, right? And it equals the same as Vernon Presley. But anyway, so today's date, hold on. So today's date, let me just show you why that's important. Because from the day that the fire happened at that Notre Dame Cathedral, to today's date when it formally opened, and Trump is there, okay? Look at this. Look at this connection right here. It's not that big of a deal, this one. I'm going to show you the good stuff in a moment. But so from today's date, I'm sorry. From the day the fire happened on April 15, 2019 to today's date, December 7, 2024, if you don't add the day, it says not including, but up to that day, it's, look at this. It's 67 months, 22 days. And you know what 6722 is? It's Elvis. Elvis equals 6722. Okay? And so it's 67 months, 22 days, right? And then look at the other number. 5 years, 7 months, 22 days, 5722. Look at that. Seattle slew, the horse died on 5/7/2002. Look at that, 5722. Get it? If you don't add the zeros, 5722. I'm just saying that's another interesting connection, right? And Seattle's area code is 206, and the 3 is a crown. Because if you turn the 3 sideways, it looks like a W. Like Washington has the W, that's where Seattle is. The W is a crown, all right? The W is a crown. So it's a crown on top of the 206, which is the Seattle area code. Anyway, so now let's get to why today's date is so important. So like I said, Trump is in Notre Dame, which is in France, right? I think the France area code is 33, by the way, you know, and that has a lot of ties to Freemasonry and stuff, because that's the highest number in Freemasonry. But really, it's a mockery of God, because Jesus was crucified at the age of 33 and rose from the dead at 33. It's the number of ascension, you know. Anyway, and that's why they use it in all their unbelievable stories, you know, in the victims' ages or the suspect age, you know what I mean. Anyway, so today's date is 12/7, okay? Yes, exactly. And let's look. Yes, that's yes, Cody. And it's a big deal, okay? Because Seattle slew died at the age of 28 also. All right. And yeah, and something, Cody's writing something about that. Let me just show you. So Trump, hold on. Just give me 1 second here. So yeah, so today Trump, let me just show it. So today's date from Trump's birthday, look, from Trump's birthday, the day he's born, to today's date is 28666 days, you see? Which is another connection to this puzzle, because Seattle slew died at the age of 28, and then you have the 666, right? All right. And so that's how old Trump is today. Yeah, good catch, Cody. And but anyway, today's date Hold on, let me drink some water here. So today's date, let me show you the connections of why today is so important. Yeah, and 28/6, Cody's mentioning 28/6. 6/28 is Elon's birthday, Elon Musk. And 6/28, well, forget about that. I'm not going to keep going. But anyway, but let me just tell you what today's date is. I mean, why today's date is so important. The 12/7/7/12. All right, pay attention, folks. Here we go. Here's where it gets good. And by the way, I told you I have a much better version of this, but I don't know where the cards are that I did. And I had more information. I just can't remember where it is. So I had to use the old ones. So I might have missed a few things. So today's date is 12/7. 12 times 7 equals 84. Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4, which is Obama's birthday in Ohio. Trump gets the head wound on 8/4. 12 times 7 is 84. And of course, 12 plus 7 is 19, and the 19 is the crown number. You know that, the Corona 19. But anyway, Trump had one on 8/4 in Ohio. Trump's born on 6/14. 6 times 14 equals 84. So you have a lot of 8/4 connections here. 12 times 7, today's date, 12/7 is 84. Okay? Now, what makes it so important is that it's Pearl Harbor. Somebody real quick, check how many days from this day to today's date, all right? And I'll tell you whether it's important or not. I forgot to type it in. Anyway, so Pearl Harbor was attacked on 12/7, okay? Pay attention, folks. Why is 12/7 so important? Because look, 12/7 has the connection to the EL. EL means God in Hebrew. Elvis has the EL, right? And Elvis is the VIS, means 666. So I'm not going to get into that right here. But EL means God in Hebrew. Elvis has the EL. EL equals 1737 backwards. 17 forward, 37 backwards. See, it's got the 1737. The 7th prime is 17. The 12th prime is 37. 7th prime is 17. 12th prime is 37. Okay? So you have the 1737 with the numbers 7 and 12, which is the EL. And today's date is 7/12/12/7, right? And that's the day Pearl Harbor happened, right? Now look at this. So if you go from the first of the year to 6/11, look what it adds up to. 1/1 and 6/11 is 7/12. You see that? And I told you 7 times 12 equals 84. So you have the connection to 6/11 and that. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you guys putting down the numbers, but can you also tell me how many years and days? Yeah. Anyway, somebody's writing stuff in the chat. But anyway, all right, I appreciate that. Anyway, so let me show you now. Here's where it gets really, really good, all right? Yeah, I appreciate that. Anyway, here's where it gets really good. So the prime numbers, because I told you that Washington State is going to be attacked on June 11th, okay? I don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be some kind of crazy event that's going to happen, all right? So I shouldn't say the word attacked. I should just say something horrific is going to happen on June 11th. So the 6th prime number is 13. The 11th prime number is 31. Now, I could show you so much on this, but I want to just focus it only on the connection to today's date. So 13 and 31. 6th prime is 13. 11th prime is 31. And then if you took the 13th prime and the 31st prime, it adds up to, look at this, 1, 2, 7, and 41. What is that? 1, 2, 7, and 41. So that's 12/7/41 is the Pearl Harbor attack date. You see? See 12/7/41? 12/7/41. It's connected to 6/11. Get it? 6 prime is 13, 11 prime is 31. Then you take the 13th is 41, 31st is 127, right? And 12741 was the date of the Pearl Harbor. 12741 connecting to 6/11, right? Now, I told you 6/11 is connected to 9/11. Look what happens Remember, Pearl Harbor was 12/7/41. Look at the prime numbers for 9/11. The 9th, the 11th, the 20th, and 01. That's 9/11/20/01. It adds up to 41, and the prime numbers add up to 127. 12741, Pearl Harbor. You see that? And remember, I just showed you that 611 connects to the 41/127. Are you seeing that? Okay. 6th prime, 11th prime is 1331. 13th is 41. 31st is 127. So you get the 41/127, which is the Pearl Harbor, 12741, 12741 with 9/11. Okay? Do you understand how ridiculous this is, what I'm showing you? All right? Now, let me, so this is something I've shown years ago. This is but here's where it gets even more ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. Somebody was mentioning that. Yeah, a couple people just mentioned it. Yeah, so today would also start the 84th year of Pearl Harbor, right? But it's still technically, when you do the calculations, it would still show as 83 years and whatever days, you know what I mean? 83 years, you know, until the 84th birthday, which would be next year. So we're in between 83 and 84, you know. But anyway, forget about that. All right, but anyway, so why is Pearl Harbor Day so important to this puzzle? Why is Pearl Harbor Day so important? By the way, somebody just wrote some. That's yeah, I don't want to get into that, but that's interesting that you wrote that. So why is it so important to this puzzle? Because I told you 611 is connected to this 12/7, right? Now, watch. From Elvis's birthday to the date that Pearl Harbor happened, look at the amount of years and months exactly. No days even. It's exactly. You add up from Elvis's birth, the exact day he's born, to the exact day Pearl Harbor happened. It's 6 years, 11 months exactly. 6/11, and it's to 12/7, right? 12/7, right? And I just showed you that 12/7, that the to the 12/7/41 connects to the 6/11. 6 prime is 13, 11th prime is 31. You take the 13 and 31, make that into a prime. The 13th prime is 41. The 31st prime is 127. 41, 127. That's when Pearl Harbor happened, 12/7/41. And it connects to the 6/11, right? And from Elvis's birthday to 12/7/41 is 6 years, 11 months. 12/7/41, right? Connecting to the 127/41, and that connects to 9/11 also with the primes, right? Do you understand how impossible that is? Now, if you still think that's just if you think these are coincidences, what about this? From Pearl Harbor Day to the day Elvis died, you have I'm not going to even tell you right now what this means, but look at this. 35 years, 8 months, 10 days. Elvis is born on 1/08/35. 1/08/35. From Pearl Harbor to the day Elvis died. You see that? And let me just tell you, just for reference to know what this means, you could turn this around and make this an EL. The 3 and the 1 looks like the letters E and L, and the 37 is the EL also, EL. So it's a small EL and a big EL. Or you can say 130, the word Washington equals 130, and then you have the EL. So it's EL 130. Washington equals 130. The word Washington, because Seattle's in Washington. Anyway, so remember, we're talking about today's date and all the connections with 127, which I showed you it connected to 9/11 to 6/11. On 9/11, which buildings fell? 1, 2, and 7. The 3 buildings that fell were 1, 2, and 7. Okay? Do you see that? 1, 2, and 7. Again, I ask you, what is the chance of that? Right? Again, all these connections. And from the day that Pearl Harbor happened to exactly when Trump was born, notice that Trump is born on 6/14, the 165th day of the year. From the Pearl Harbor day to Trump's birthday exactly is 165 with a crown. The O is a crown. 165 with a crown. He's born on the 165th day of the year, see? So another pure coincidence, right? Now watch this. Look at this. I told you that 6/11 is when Washington State gets struck. Pay attention. The date 6/11 is when Washington State gets struck. 6/14 is Trump's birthday. Trump's gonna get his head one on 8/4. Okay, 8/4. So you have the 8/4 connection with Trump's birthday. 6 times 14 equals 84. 6 times 11 equals 66. 66, 84. And why is that important? Because from Elvis's birthday to the day he was born to the exact day 9/11 happened was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. 66, 84. 66, 84. Do you see that? And the word twin equals 66. So when the Twin Towers fell, because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth. So you have from Elvis's birthday, the day he's born, to 9/11, when the Twin Towers fell, it was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days, right? And you have the 6/11 connecting to the 66, the 6/14 connecting to the 84, you see? And the 15th letter of the alphabet is the O. So it's a crown on, with that anyway. All right. And anyway, so from the Elvis's birthday to 9/11 is 66 years, 8 months, 4 days, right? 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. Look at this. Even from Elvis's, if you go from Elvis's birthday to 6/11, it's 154 days if you don't add the day, 155 if you add the day on a regular year, not a leap year. So on a regular year, if you go from Elvis's birthday to 6/11, it's 154 days, or 155 if you add the day. Look at the percentages for 154 days is 42.19%. 155 days is 42.47%. Look what it adds up to, 84.66. You see that? And I just showed you that from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 is the 6684, 8466. 6 times 11 is 66. 6 times 14 is 84. You see? You see all the connections that I'm showing you? 8466, 8466, 8466. All right. And look, just to show you these aren't coincidences. Look, you remember I just showed you from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. If you went from the date 10/8, which looks like the same as Elvis's birthday 108, 10/8 to 6/11 is 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. You see that? It's the same numbers. 6684 to 9/11, but from Elvis's birthday 108, this is 10/8, 108. Get it? To 6/11. You see what I'm saying? This is like old information I've already shown, but you see how crazy that is? Ow! Oh man. Oh man. My arthritis, folks. And I could show you much more, like from Pearl Harbor to 9/11 is an important thing, but I don't feel like showing that. Very important. By the way, we're talking about today's date, right? And how it connects to 6/11, and connected to 9/11 and all that stuff, and connected to Trump and Elvis. Today's date is 12/7, right? And June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. Okay. And check this out. So today's date, right, is 12/7. And June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. I'm just asking, what are the coincidences? June 11th, the 162nd day of the year, and today's date is 12/7. The square root of 162 is 12.7. See? And this is the first time you see that number. It stops at 162. All right, you see? You see what I'm saying? Because today's date is 12/7, right? And 162 is 6/11. The 162nd day of the year is 6/11. From Elvis's birthday to 12/7 is 6 years, 11 months. The 6/11. Do you get it? Are you getting that? So from Elvis's birthday to 12/7. All right. So did everyone get that last part that I showed? Did everyone get that last part that I showed? How it all connects. You see that? The square root of 162 is 12.7. All right. And today's date is 12/7. The 162nd day of the year is June 11th. And from Elvis's birthday to 12/7, the date in 1941 when Pearl Harbor happened, from Elvis's birthday was 6 years, 11 months. All right. So it's all connected to each other. All right. It's a perfect puzzle. Perfect. And I could, like I said, I could show you from Pearl Harbor to 9/11 why it was so important. But I don't want to convolute this. It's like I said, it's perfect. You know. All right, folks. Any last words? And you know, just now I was showing you all the connections with 8/4, 66, 8/4. If you were watching, pay attention. Look at this. Let me just add insult to injury here. Look, Elvis was born on 1/8. He died on 8/16. If you go 84 years forward, in between Elvis' birthday and 8/16, you go 84 years forward. Look, it's 8,466%. Even the amount of days for 84 years, 7 months. It lands on 8/16, which is Elvis's death and Elvis's birth. I'm just, showing you stuff, And Elvis died at age 42. 42 years later would be 84, But anyway, the whole point is he's been dead for 47 years. But look, the whole, the reason the Twin Towers fell was for Elvis. The reason that Washington State is going to be cracked in half, or whatever the hell they're going to do to it, is because of Elvis. But Trump is the image of Elvis. Trump is the Antichrist in the flesh. Elvis is the real Antichrist. I told you, they're copying God. They're a counterfeit version of God. Because when Jesus, who is God in the flesh, was walking the earth, God was still in heaven. God in heaven while Jesus was walking the earth. Jesus is God in the flesh. Trump is playing Jesus in the flesh while Elvis is playing God in heaven. Okay? And they all connect to each other. Like Bruce Wayne is Batman. Elvis is Batman. Trump is the Bruce Wayne character. They're both Batman. All right. Okay. They're both Batman. And so whatever connects to Trump is going to connect to Elvis. Anyway, God bless all of you. And I'll stay on another 2 minutes here if you guys have anything to say. No, listen, it doesn't matter what Jesus's age was. I'm just saying, according to scholars, whether it was correct or not, it doesn't matter. All right. All we know is that Jesus is God. That's all that matters. Forget about the age of, there's obviously, we're never going to figure that out, just like we don't know what Jesus looks like exactly, Yeah. Yeah. And the whole Pearl Harbor, I'm not buying it. None of it. So, yeah. Anyway, any last words? Anyone who got in late, just watch from the beginning. I'll leave it up for a day or so, this video, because I already did a video like this, but this was a nice refresher, so maybe I'll leave it up for a while. All right. Anyway, God bless all of you. Jesus is God. End of video. Oh, I'll see you guys later tonight with another live stream. All right. All right. And any questions, you can ask me then. All right. Anyway, God bless all of you. Jesus is God. End of video.